But first, the big news of the day is the budget, and it's a historic one. It's the first time...
Did you hear that rumble?
Yes, I know. Well, what is absolutely historic is it's the first time in the UK that a budget has ever been delivered by a woman.
Yep.
And that is, of course, Chancellor Rachel Reeves. But when it comes to everyday life, 51% of women reportedly manage the household budget, compared with just 41% of men. So, Denise, who is in charge of the budget in your house?
OK.
Don't let Rachel down.
No, I have made no bones about the fact that I have what I have termed financial phobia all of my year, a fear of maths, a fear of numbers, and I've joked about it, but actually it has blighted my life in many ways. I'm lucky now that I'm married to a man who knows about our finances. When Lincoln suggests that I sit down with him to discuss my tax, this is what I hear. Right. That is how it computes in my head. And I'm somebody that at school got 86% for French and 10% for maths, and that was what you got for writing your name on the top of the maths paper. But I'm actually now working with a charity to try to reduce the fear of it, because it's not that I ever wanted a career in economics or accountancy or anything like that. It was a complete and utter lack of knowledge, to the point that it was adding up under the table. I can still remember my syllabus from school, where it had double maths and where I would go to the toilet and throw up because of my fear of double maths. I can see it written. And,
but I mean, in the house, I mean, like, who does the insurance? Who does your energy? Who does all of those And you like that, Nadia?
I'm just remembering when we used to go on holiday and you would just say, oh, let's do the sum of such and what? We'd be sitting in the spa.
We had children with us, can I just say?
424 divided by 6, and I'd just, like, disappear under the bubbles because double maths, I will still use the words double maths to illustrate how terrifying or awful I find something. So, yeah, mine is absolutely... like, you know, in the old days when they used to go, that's 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, when you were getting your change, I couldn't understand the... It's like a blindness. I would just hear the rhythm.
See, I
go into the music.
I got sacked from a pub at 18 because you're working, and in those days we didn't have electronic tills, so people would go 3 whiskies, 2 vodka and tonic, and I would go into a sweat.
I wonder if you have just created a psychological block.
So. Yes.
You know, rather than being unable to actually do it. And I mean, it's interesting you say that. I mean, that's very exciting that I used to make us, do sums when we were on holiday.
In the spa.
You sound like an absolute ball.
I know, Mariah. I mean,
but you grew up with parents openly talking about maths and sums and how to look after your money.
Yeah, we talked about money, savings accounts, what to do with money. So finances, I was always comfortable with, but like numbers, no. Like maths at school, I struggled. My mental arithmetic is painfully bad, whereas Brad's is actually really strong. But then I think where we balance each other out is that his financial planning has always been on the weaker side.
Right.
And, that lack of knowledge around, what to do with your money and how to look after it, because it's not something we're taught in school. And especially, playing football from a young age, Brad, there's a lot of sort of personal development things that get missed out doing that. So I say it's because of that. Also, I am a control freak. Like, I call it a control enthusiast. So I wouldn't be able to relinquish the control. So, yeah, it is me in our house.
But it's interesting you saying you talked about it at home when you were young, because we did in our household, and also, like, with my kids, when they were wee, if they were in the bath, I would say, well, I don't know, how many bars of soap are here, how many towels are here, add them up or whatever. And I wasn't even conscious of doing it until you said that you never did the same.
Because I didn't know what the answer was. I feel really guilty with both my girls because I just couldn't do... I am... What is it if you're illiterate but with numbers?
Innumerate.
So, innumerate. So I'm innumerate. So I would be like somebody that says they can't read. That's me with... So if you couldn't read and you're in the supermarket and you wouldn't be able to say, oh, what does that say? That's me with numbers. So I feel enormously guilty with my girls because I feel like I don't know how much of that I've just put onto them by saying we're...
Do you not feel vulnerable in your relationship?
Dyscalculia is not talked about enough, and I've often thought, do I have that? But then again, I don't want to give myself another label.
But
that
what
I
are we
have
going to
just
do?
'cause
Both our husbands look after our money. God forbid if they went
Exactly.
before us. What would we do?
No.
Well, Lincoln says you'd go...
Be a mess.
Phil would look after that. So he's sort of like, you know, he's one of his best friends and also a financial
travel
advisor.
together.
And I go, that's what I say, but what, go in a plane crash together? You know?
Who's going to pay the lecky?